وعلى أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, first we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to perform of Maghrieb Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us sincerity and istiqamah. Ameen Rabbal Alameen. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, last week we have concluded with the Surah Al-Takathur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautifully explains the destruction of insan and when they will come to realization the reality of this life. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this evening Surah Al-Asr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off by mentioning and starts off with an oath. And Allah takes an oath with time itself. And this Surah Al-Asr, as the ulama has mentioned, taking the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is mentioned that the Sahaba radiallahu anh, some of the virtue of the Surah, in some of the Sahaba radiallahu anh, whenever they would separate and depart from one another, they would recite Surah Al-Asr. They will recite Surah Al-Asr. Because why? It was a habit of the pious and the habit of the people of before, that when they separate one another, when they leave the company of one another, that they would encourage and give advice. So they would recite Surah Al-Asr because Surah Al-Asr is concise in its meaning. It's very concise in its meaning. And that's why Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah used to say that if people were to really ponder over the meaning of Surah Al-Asr, if they really had to make tafakkur and ponder over its meaning, he says that will be enough of a means of guidance for them. One surah of the Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the short surah, three verses of the Quran. And in it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautifully explains to mankind what is the recipe for success and what is the recipe for failure. In the first ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah starts off the surah by swearing by time. Said, Wal Asr. I swear by time, said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here the ulama mentioned in the sense when they make the tafsir, they say, by time meaning that how me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. We in the reality, we are a ticking time. A clock that is every second of the day, every second that passes, every breath we take, it is a portion of our life that is gone. Never to return. If we really had to calculate, that's what Allah says, Allah has created everything in proportion. So Allah knows exactly how many breaths we will take. If it was written for us, if we will take 1 billion breaths, if you breathe 100 times for today, 100 times is gone of your life, never to return again. 100 seconds is gone of your life again. A day is gone of your life, never to return. And that's why the ulama mentioned and say that time is like a capital a person has. When we start a business, when we have a capital, that capital, says the ulama, it decreases without your permission. When we own money and we have the capital, we're in control of it. I can decide what I want to buy and where I want to spend it. But when it comes to the time that Allah has given to us, it is a capital that decreases all the time, whether I want it or whether I don't. It decreases all the time, it never increases. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath by time for me and you to realize the importance of it. As in the previous ayah, in the previous surah, Allah says, Alhaakum al-takathur, destruction upon those who amass and compete in this worldly dunya. Hatta zurtumul maqabir. So we don't want to be of those who, when we reach the grave, we realize the importance of the time we had in this dunya. Time we have to realize the value of time while Allah has given it to us. Just today, one janaza, Kafuz rahimahullah, after that, while in the maqbara, a notice of another janaza, family friend of my family from Coston. And how was the janaza? It is mentioned his wife said he was normal. He went to put some khina on his beard, and then he ate a banana. And while eating the banana, he passed away. So when the ambulance came to declare the death, The cause of death, he choked on a banana. This is how Malakul Maut comes to us, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam. Yet his day planned out. He knew what he's going to do and what is he preparing for, but Allah had other plans. And that is the reality of life. That is how life works. We think we have the time until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, until the time comes to an end. And then we realize, Hatta zurtumul maqabir. So Allah is taking an oath with time for me and you to realize the importance of it. Also, some ulama has mentioned why Allah takes an oath with time is for us to reflect the possible reason of swearing by time. Maybe that the time, in the sense of history, bears testimony to the fact that mentioned in the surah, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rise of individuals and the rise of society and the fall and the failure of individuals and society, how we must look at the history and look at how through the times and through the annals of history, how Allah has elevated and how Allah has humiliated certain groups of people and certain individuals of people. So take lesson from time, take lesson from history. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. By the token of time, indeed, mankind will be at a loss. Mankind will be at a loss. And we're living in times, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, we've asked the question regularly, Ya Allah, is it going to get better? And unfortunately, the conditions won't get better, but we as individuals, we can improve ourselves so that we can face these challenges better. And that's why the hadith of ulama mentioned, Zubayr radiallahu anhu, we came to Anas ibn Malik to complain about one of the leaders. And he says to Anas, complaining about Al-Hajjaj. And then Anas replies to him, and Anas radiallahu anhu says that be patient. For an era will not come upon you, but that what comes after it is worse. And he says that I've heard this from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those elderly people who are sitting in the masjid, if they can think 50 years back, 50 years ago, or 30 years ago, if you compare 30 years ago, 50 years ago with today's time, did it get better or did it get worse? Things got worse. So this is the system of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works, and that's why it is so important that the worse the situation is getting, the more effort is required from our side to better face these challenges. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the recipe of how a person can safeguard himself. Allah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ, except for those people. Allah gives an exception, it's a very important exception for us. If we want to be safeguarded from these calamities and from these challenges that we are facing, Allah says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, four things. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, for those who bring iman in Allah. Submission is not enough. We need to submit. قالت الأعراب آمنا. The Arab came and says, we bring iman in Allah. Allah says Rasulullah, قل, say to them that they have not brought iman, they must rather say aslamna, that we have submitted. Because iman is a level above submission. So a person says, Rasul Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Inna alladhina amanu, those who bring for complete iman in Allah, complete iman with the heart, with the tongue, with the limbs, and every part of him is completely submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and he does righteous deeds. Iman and righteous deeds always come together in the Quran. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, always together. Why? Because the sign of Iman is when a person now, when true Iman enters his heart, and then immediately he has an inclination and desire to want to do righteous deeds. So he does righteous deeds, he strives in the worship of Allah, he strives in the obedience of Allah. These are the two people who Allah will safeguard, the one who brings iman, the one who strives in the worship of Allah, وَتَوَاصُوا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصُوا بِالصَّبْرِ, and the one who encourages the haqq, meaning he encourages firstly this iman in Allah, this deen of Islam. He encourages when he sees wrong, he tries his best to correct the situation. Is in authority, he will speak about it, he will make it physically, he will change it. Some or the weakest of Iman says Rasulullah is the one who makes dua for betterment for that person. But when we see something wrong, we should always have it in our hearts to want to make and or to say something or to do something to assist that person. And this is something also which the Ummah has neglected. If the old people can speak many times, today we don't find, at that time the Christian neighbor used to tell you go to the masjid. Today the Muslim parent in our house don't even have the authority or don't have is not mindful enough sometimes to remind his own children. And that is why the ulama mentioned, because of the previous nations, they have neglected these elements. That's why Allah destroyed them and Allah humiliated them. So Allah is telling us that command and instruct the good, encourage the good, watawasaw bis sabr, and also encourage sabr. Encourage sabr, the ulama mentioned, in abstaining from the sins and things Allah made haram. Because in reality it takes sabr. That's why to make sabr on the disobedience of Allah, meaning to make sabr on the things Allah has made haram, it is the best form of sabr. It is better than making sabr on bala. It is even better to make sabr on bala. When a person makes sabr and he tells himself, this Allah has made haram, and because of it I'll tramp on my nafs and I'll make sabr, I won't engage in it. That is more beloved than making sabr when affliction comes to a person. So my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of these who follow these 4 steps in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us or encouraged us to do, is to bring iman in Allah, to do righteous deeds, to encourage the right, to always assist one another in fulfilling the haqq of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and to encourage one another on sabr, sabr and abstaining from the muharramat. When the person also sabr in a sense when a person goes through difficulty, also encouraging the sabr. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a perfect understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.